Oh boy, that's a big kitty, more commonly known as the saber-toothed tiger. Smilodon makes for a formidable predator. Many of its fossils have been excavated in tar pits, with the most prolific site being La Brea in Los Angeles, California. More than a staggering 166,000 specimens of Smilodon have been found in these sediments alone. What may have been terrible death traps in the past make for great opportunities in the present as we bring this carnivore back to life.
Hello everybody, I'm the Naturalist Gamer here, and welcome back to Prehistoric Kingdom. Of course, we're back building in Scotswood PaleoZoo, and this time we're working on a saber-toothed cat habitat, specifically for the smaller North American species Smilodon fatalis. It's nice to take a little break from dinosaurs after all these episodes, especially after finishing of the Dilophosaurus habitat, and because the Dilophosaurus and Smilodon share a connection between their backstage facilities. I figured it made sense to start with Smilodon, and that way I can base the remaining mammal habitats around how the Smilodon habitat turns out. And I did plan on getting this video out much sooner, but I ended up getting really sick. But that might have worked in our favor here because I ended up finishing the backstage for the Smilodon. Now, I didn't get a recording of that section, unfortunately, but I'll be sure to give you guys a more detailed look during the walkthrough. So right now, you're seeing me build the protective barrier using a workshop item that I'll be linking in the description below. And just like with the Plesiosaurus habitat, I even created scaffolding behind the rock structure for the Smilodon habitat. And this was primarily done as a way to add a touch of realism to the park. I know in a lot of zoos, especially if you see a large rock wall, there's likely a large structure behind it holding it in place. I didn't do this for the Dilophosaurus habitat because A, the rock wall behind it was large, wide, and thick, so it's implied that there's internal scaffolding keeping it together, and B, it's much shorter, whereas the Smilodon rock wall is thinner and way taller, so it would have definitely needed some form of support in real life. This habitat was also designed to have a walk-through tunnel that the Smilodons can cross into another section of the zoo. And this is where part 2 of this video will be coming out, hopefully sometime next week, if not the week after. But basically, I'm creating a restaurant right next to the Smilodon habitat where the Smilodon will actually be able to have an opportunity to stand right on top of you, which I think would be a really cool viewing op and unique experience to the zoo. I also created a simulated mammoth carcass using the mammoth skull prop and the new enrichment item being a large faux carcass. And throughout the build, you'll notice that I'm constantly checking to make sure that the animals are able to actually navigate well without like escaping or whatnot. And yeah, I'm very happy with how the exhibit portion turned out. And yeah, well, as much as I love dinosaurs, I've always been a huge mammal enthusiast, especially when it comes to elephants. And as much as I love the woolly mammoths in Prehistoric Kingdom, I knew that because the zoo is going to be built on a limited amount of space, and it's my job to have as much biodiversity as possible within the confines of the designated land area, I knew for a fact that mammoths just weren't going to work in the zoo. Practically, like an ethically sized habitat would take up at least 1 to 2/3 of the entire zoo space I have, so it's just not happening. But you will see that I put a lot of mammoth themed decorations, like right in front of the mammoth skull. You'll see that I put a mammoth statue. I used the topiary piece as well, just so that I can like pay homage to these animals. And I've saw that some zoos that have either given up their elephants because they no longer are able to support them or take care of them, they still do educational information about elephants. So I figured that's what I could do in this zoo instead. So in place of having like woolly mammoths, you can learn more about them, though it is implied that the mammoth stuff around the saber-toothed cat habitat is meant to represent like Colombian mammoths, but we don't have those in the game, so we gotta make do with what we have. And right across these saber-toothed cats, I do plan on making a large habitat for the Megaloceros, which is a must-have for the zoo because the zoo is indeed based in Ireland, and the Irish elk is by far one of the most iconic Pleistocene megafauna from Ireland, so it would be silly not to include it. And I originally wanted to do just Irish-based animals or animals that would have lived in Pleistocene Ireland. So originally I was going to do woolly rhino, the cave lions instead of Smilodons, and even cave bears. But I opted to go for a mix of different mammals throughout different parts of the world at different times. So there's going to be Smilodon, Juxia, Megaloceros, and then whatever. I think there is a mini exhibit mammal plan, so I left some space for it. But if not, we can try to fill the space in with something different. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about the habitat so far, as well as just the zoo overall. I'm really happy with how the whole thing is coming together, and I think the Smilodon habitat particularly definitely screams like real life zoo to me more so than some of my others, mostly because we do have like modern analogs that are close enough to saber-toothed cats, these being like modern day big cats, albeit saber-toothed cats and modern day big cats aren't that closely related, but they would have likely had similar husbandry needs if we were to keep saber-toothed cats in a zoo environment today. Anywho, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of the speed build portion, and I will see you guys in the walkthrough. so we're going to start all the way over here. And right off the bat, this is where the Megaloceros habitat's going to be. I think I'm going to call this like Doggerland or something. Based off of like the sunken continent or the sunken landmass of Doggerland. Let's press play and let's keep walking. So actually, let's go back a bit. So this is where that mini exhibit mammal is going to go, whatever it is. But then also, I made like an open aired moat so you can get like a nice view of the saber-toothed cat habitat from here. And you get a great view of like the mammoth skeleton and all. I might actually move the binoculars there. But anywho, let's proceed. So we have our little garden here with the Smilodon topiary. And I used a mix of like modern and paleo plants here. And this is our first viewing opportunity for the Smilodons. And you have the beautiful view of the mammoth carcass, and then you have these paw prints, this cave painting, and I know this is the Smilodon populator cutout, but I still really like it, so I just ended up putting it here. We have our mammoth statue, and I think honestly, like, I don't mind this representing the woolly mammoth because it's going to be facing the Megaloceros habitat, but this one's meant to represent a Colombian mammoth. Oh, and there's a Smilodon. Okay. But yeah, so this is another great view of the habitat. We have barriers to keep them from jumping out. Moving on, we have another like green garden area. And oh, there they are. There's our Smilodons. So we have a melanistic, a leucistic, and a normal one. We have a nice, beautiful, like open air view of the habitat from here. Beyond this protective barrier. And oh goodness, is it gonna cross? It's gonna be so cool. I think one of them already did cross. In fact, yes, this is the cool part about the restaurant. You're gonna be able to like dine underneath the saber-toothed cats once I pull it off, but oh, she's about to cross. Yeah, that is so cool. This never gets old. I love when this. Oh, they're both crossing. Awesome. I love when animals do stuff like this in zoos. I hope they don't try to escape, but yeah. Yeah, this is sick. This is so sick. I can't wait for this restaurant to be done. I don't know how I'm gonna pull it off, but you know, it'll be fun. And of course, like, we gotta like make sure that the animals can't leave from both sides. All that fun jazz. But we'll figure it out when we get there. And then I was thinking maybe oh yeah, and you get another view of the habitat. And so now I can show you guys the backstage portion. I didn't finish it entirely. We're actually, before we look at that, let's just check the animals out some more before we go there. Yeah, let's just go. In fact, let's check them out from the animals habitat. Oh yeah, this is sick. So they got plenty of space to roam in the backstage. Like, look at that. How can you not love this? This is so cool. I definitely want to put like a proper like gate here too, so that it's implied that it can open and close when other animals want to come in. I definitely want to clean this up a little bit. It looks a little messy. But yeah, let's actually go in. So this is what the saber-toothed cats have. I gave them their air conditioning and all. So they have a birthing bed for when they start breeding. They have a water bowl. They have some hay, some meat, and then this is where I'm going to do like the hose and stuff. So whenever they get like washed, which as much as cats don't like baths, they still need them. I was thinking about like putting some boxes in here, just some toys to like spruce it up. Going through here. And yeah, this is the view that the keepers will get whenever they're working with these animals. And then over here, of course, is the entryway to like the freezer room. Yeah, so this all needs to be cleaned up a little more. I thought this could be like another like storage area. But yeah, isn't this so cool, guys? God, I love this leucistic one. This one's my favorite for sure. Hey, buddy. I mean, I think this is, yeah, this one's female. And I believe this one's also female. Yeah, our king over here has got himself a little harem. So yeah, hopefully they breed and make lots of cute little saber-toothed cubs. Aw. And yeah, that's the habitat so far. Let me know what you guys think, but this is so cool. Oh yeah, another thing I wanted to show you guys. I'm gonna save that for later, but So I'm gonna try to make this a little bit more prettier. Like I'm thinking I'll keep this fence here because I do like some level of like utilitarianism, but I'm gonna like get rid of the chain link fence in some parts and like replace it with the more quote unquote attractive looking scaffolding because this is kind of like a mess. But this is where the backstage stuff is. For like the general backstage, this is for like goods. Then over here, this is gonna be for like the staff hall. You know, I'm working with very like limited and tight spaces, and I'm thinking about maybe creating like a fence for an implied like forklift if it was ever needed, but I think overall it's not too bad. And over here is going to be like a little farm. I thought it'd be cool to like connect it directly to the restaurant. So it's implied that in addition to the animals, like the guests are eating like fresh organic food from here. And of course, I'll try to make it look a lot more prettier. I definitely want to get us some sunshades too and stuff like that. But yeah, that is the saber-toothed cat habitat. And the reason why I want to pretty this area up is because how the zoo currently goes is it's like in a loop. So you can either go this way and see most of the dinosaur stuff, or start with like the dinosaur stuff and then like the Paleozoic section for like Tiktaalik. Or you can wrap around this way and then you'd go through some like stuff, but you would see like a restaurant here. And I'm thinking about maybe like adding some like hanging lights just to make this area a little bit more pleasing to walk through. And then you'll first start off with like some Smilodons and a bunch of other animals. But yeah. So that is the Smilodon habitat. Let me know what you guys think, and as always, thank you for watching.